Holy cow. So 2 recordings, freaking my audio came out like complete butthole in the last one, so we're redoing it. 2 old world posts, who would have freaking thought? Which means probably Orcs and Goblins are around the corner. Now I love talking about Warhammer the Old World. I know it's been a while, there hasn't been any posting or anything to talk about, you know. We'll get into that at the end of the video, but anyways, let's get into it. So we got the freaking Sunday preview, which we covered yesterday, and then we got Old World Almanack right here. We get a glimpse, we get JTY talking to Danny about some nonsense, some conjecture, if you will. Gives you a little bit of a history on the army playstyle and how you can run it, close order, impetuous, which if you've been following the channel, there's an Orcs and Goblins breakdown, I believe, up here to the top right. So some of the conjecture between these guys is a little bit ridiculous, like there's Orc Drug Swamp Digger, who's an Orc Shaman, who thinks he's a troll, and the trolls think he's a troll, so you can run a troll army. It's just kind of like, okay, if you get into that, dude, that's your thing, but I just think it's kind of ridiculous to sit there and be dumb about it. I don't know. But anyways, they did mention 2 characters coming in their little arcane journal that they're going to have for their book. Whatever, you got to buy the book if you want to get most of the main rules. We saw that with Tomb Kings and Bretonia, so yeah, you'll need the main rule book and their stupid little paperback book to kind of implement these guys in a better fashion or in a more wider variety. Now, one thing I want to talk about today isn't what JTY and Danny are talking about, because honestly I could care less. It's going to be more about the range of what we've seen kind of with the Tomb Kings, and if you're looking to get into Orcs and Goblins, what you should be on top of when you're going to buy them. Because if you don't get in there and you don't make that purchase and you don't freaking like go, you're gonna have to be waiting, which I'm personally fine with. I'm not gonna be rushing to pre-order all this stuff. I'm gonna wait until it restocks and no one wants it anymore, like the rest of the stuff. But this is why. If you come over here, we're gonna hit that English, go to shop, go to the Old World on their sweet new website, and if you'll see here, a majority of this stuff is temporarily out of stock. The Forge World stuff is not going to be restocked probably for a hot minute. And then you look at something like Old World Almanack here, where we look at this guy. That's a Forge World model. Forge World's producing this Black Orc War Boss. So if you don't get him, he's probably going to be sitting on the sideline with temporarily out of stock underneath his name. So that's something that you should be who of when you're looking to get into Orcs. Now, one other thing where this set is going to fail you is going to be right here. Now, it's obviously, hopefully, going to be cheaper than $290. I'm hoping like around 150, 160 would be ideal for me. I think that would be good. And maybe we might get that, because this is $290 with a book, templates, rulers, dice. I mean, it's not good stuff, but you get it. And then you get 2 HQ choices. Now, where the Old World Almanack is rough, there's no HQ choices in there. It's not really looking too sexy, you know, and that's the rough thing. One thing I would say and be who of is Warhammer the Old World is going to be dropping these orcs probably within the next couple weeks for pre-order. So start saving up, start getting your stuff together, start making sure that this is what you want to get, and start having an outline by doing the Old World builder, and start building up lists in your head to see if you even need the goblins or the orcs. Now, one thing I will say about this kit right here is it's really versatile. You get additional hand weapons, spear and shield, hand weapon shield. You can do a lot. You get the command element, and it looks like if we have anything to go off, if you're going to get 30 in this, 2, 4, 5, 2, 6, yep, 30. So there we go. So it's not going to be too bad. Orcs and Goblins are really freaking solid this edition. Between the Black Orcs having heavy or full plate, the Black Orc War Boss having full plate, their Shamans are pretty legit, and having Impetuous over Animosity makes them pretty freaking solid. So Old World breakdown should be here. Now, why have I not been coming out with a lot of Old World content lately? It's not that I've lost interest. It's just I don't have a community at this point anymore. The community was about it, and then there were certain setbacks like the Tennessee warehouse, local game stores not getting their allotment of stuff, people not being able to buy into it, and then people were kind of looking at the Age of Sigmar models, and I get it, it's a big freaking price increase, but people were looking at that saying like, do I really want to pay $60 for 5 warriors that I need 15 or 20 of? And I agree, you shouldn't be having to do that. But because of that, The community's kind of dwindled for the time being, so unless there's any old world almanac posts to talk about or getting into like the army breakdowns here and there, it's really gonna be difficult for me to make content when there's nothing to make content on. I'm not saying like there won't be any, but I'm pretty big in the game and I like playing, and I'm big on hobbying too, but it really sucks the motivation out when there's no reason to paint because no one's gonna be able to play. So I'll keep you posted on that. There might be a game coming up this week, I don't know. Now if you play other games other than Old World, I am doing a Heresy Reignited series. We're going to be going through breaking down the lore from Horus Rising all the way to the end of the Death Part 3, and then judging on where the Old World is right around then. If High Elves are out and other things are out, I'll shift back to the Old World. If they haven't dropped yet, then I'm going to be talking about the Scouring, and we're going to be going into the Legion Wars, and I'm going to be doing conversions out of Chaos Space Marines to make them more in line with the Scouring era or the beginning of the Legion Wars, like before the Black Legion, before Abaddon, and right around the time Horus's body is getting stolen by the Emperor's children would be what I like to cover. Now, going from that, there's the Badab Wars and a lot of other things to go into with 40k, but I really want to get my handle on the reigns of the Old World. But the hard thing is it's like the lore that's there is not really there. There's really just, it's still developing, and we're going to have to wait for it to develop to really do some freaking awesome stuff. 8th edition's dead and kind of out of the way now that the Old World drops. I really enjoy the Old World. The game is awesome. The rules are fantastic. There's a lot of really great things you can do in the game, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the rest of the community comes up with as we see these armies drop. And it says here, as we see these armies drop throughout years. So it'll be for the next years. So that's good. Years is plural, so we can plan on this getting supported for a while, but it also means support will be spread out. So anyways, that's my update. Not doom and gloom. I love Warhammer the Old World. Get down on it if you can. If you want to do AOS, if there's any suggestions, let me know in the comments below, and I will happily pursue them to make content for the Old World. It's a lot of fun for me, but for me, I'm just at a loss right now and having a little bit of a blank when coming up with ideas for it. But anyways, you all have a lovely day. Take care and peace, homies.